Hello, good afternoon, thriving therapist. How are you guys? I have been seeing a lot of posts on our page recently, and a lot of people are echoing the same concern. So, are you feeling lately a little unsure about showing up for your clients? Do you feel a little bit of imposter syndrome? Do you feel a little uncertainty, which might cause your anxiety to spike? Do you feel like you sometimes just don't know exactly how to best serve your client? And that puts you into a little bit of a frenzy, either before your session or you have kind of a backlash like, oh, I should have, would have, could have done it differently after your session. Well, I want to validate that and tell you guys that it's totally normal that you would feel that way. And all of us feel that way. Even the most seasoned, experienced clinicians feel a little bit of imposter syndrome or a little bit of uncertainty, or we feel challenged by a really difficult client from time to time, or a difficult case. Or a client that you've been working with for a long time that suddenly has a new issue arise that is presenting something new and challenging for your skill set. So I want to reiterate a couple points that might be helpful for you guys today around this. And I want you to remember that this is, first of all, it's normal. We all feel this. So I want you to validate that. Second of all, I want you to know that you can land there, but I don't want you to live there. Okay. So there's a big difference between resilient people who understand that every once in a while they feel these kinds of things. They feel uncertain, they feel nervous, they feel anxious, they feel unprepared, they feel like something is outside of their scope of expertise. And they can land there, right? We can all land there, but I don't want you to live there. There's a big difference. This is such a good phrase, and I use it all the time with clients when they're really feeling like they're coming undone. I validate that, and then I help them understand that you can land there. That's okay. You can have as much time as you need to land there, but I want you to bounce from that and not live there. So that's kind of an interesting concept that we can use to help ourselves through this. The other thing that I really want you to remember is three important things, okay, to counter your feelings of uncertainty or imposter syndrome. One is we are all highly skilled. We have had a lot of training and expertise. We've had tons of education. We've had lots of continuing ed. We've all read tons and tons of books. We've all heard lots and lots of theories. And we have what they call critical thinking skills. Because we have advanced degrees, we are capable of using those creative thinking skills in a really important way. The critical thinking skills. They're creative sometimes too. But we have critical thinking skills, which is so important because that helps us take quick action when we're in a session. It doesn't mean we have a fast response, but it means we think on our feet. We have a way of unfolding a scenario to know exactly how to respond to our clients. So you have critical thinking. Okay, that's step one. Step two is you know how to problem solve. So if you have confidence in the fact that you have critical thinking capacity and that you have the capacity to problem solve, then you don't have to have a lot of anticipatory anxiety about all the what ifs that could occur in the context of a session that you feel unprepared for. And the third thing that I think is super important here is that we stay present and connected. That's really ultimately the most important thing we could do for our clients is really stay present and stay connected. Okay? So most of the time, people ultimately want to feel heard and seen. And when we can validate that need to be heard and seen, and we stay really present and connected with someone, and we use reflective listening and we use validation, that feels really good to the person on the other end of that line. And whether or not you have really important answers or you're a really important expert on whatever they're sharing doesn't matter as much as that human need to be seen and heard. Okay. Hey, how are you? I'm so glad you guys are tuning in here. Please let me know, yeah, if you have questions about this. Do you relate to this feeling of imposter syndrome? Do you worry that you won't have all the right answers? I've seen a lot of therapists posting these kinds of questions on our page recently. And as a side note, I just want to say how grateful I am that we have this community so we can share these kinds of things, because you're not alone. Look at, there's over 7,000 people on this page, and there's a lot of resonance there. Hey, Kim. So I do want to make sure that you guys, first of all, validate that you might be having this experience. Second of all, remember that you can land there, but I don't want you to live there. And third, I want you to know those 3 last little tips around imposter syndrome countering that effect by making sure that you know you have great critical thinking skills, okay, have confidence in that you are great at problem solving, and that you know how to stay present and connected, because ultimately that's what's going to help you the most in your sessions with your clients. Okay, so I just wanted to hop on real fast between sessions and give you that little nugget, because I could tell that that was being echoed on our page quite a bit. And then 2 little resources coming up for you guys that you should know about. One is our Thriving Therapist Facebook Lives, always happen now on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. So our next topic tomorrow is my favorite one. It's all about self-care and how important it is that we have impeccable self-care practices so that we can avoid burnout. I'm in partnership now with Dan Pierce's group, the Therapist Toolbox. So you might see some of my stuff being shared on his page. He's invited me to come over there and give some Facebook Lives to his community as well. But I just posted a question on his page yesterday about how do you avoid burnout? What kind of self-care tools do you use? And there were hundreds of comments on that thread. So there's also a great community with a big discussion happening over there as well. So if you're not part of that group, I'll put a link to the group under this thread. And then the other thing that you guys probably already know about is we have launched the course for the fall cohort. It only happens 4 times a year. It's how to build a thriving practice. And that course is open now. We have people already blowing through the material. It just opened yesterday. We got full access yesterday. And it's going to help you build your thriving practice in 5 weeks or less. You get video modules. You get downloadable worksheets. You get all the forms and templates you need to start your practice. And you get some bonuses. There's going to be some expert therapists coming in to our private Facebook page that's only for students. And that page is an amazing place for accountability and inspiration. There's so much motivation in this group. They're already just like plowing through the material, and it's only been day 1. So I cannot wait. The last cohort was incredible. They've done some amazing things with what they learned, and I can't wait to take this fall group through the course. So there's still time to get in on that if you wanted to, and I will post a link in the comments as well. Okay, Jocelyn's asking a quick question here. How do you differentiate when it's a true deficit in your skills versus actual imposter syndrome? Great question. And what we do around that is understand that, yes, there are things that we can understand when we're working with a client where we're like, this is a weak spot for me. This is a place I want to strengthen. This is something that I would love to dive a little deeper into. I might need more supervision on this topic. I might need to check my own blind spots. I might need more education, whether that's continuing ed or a course or a book or whatever it might be. But sometimes we have to consult an expert on certain topics because it is not an area that has come up in our past work or something that we feel like we have a specialty in. So I will say this. Sometimes you find yourself, targeting kind of a niche population. So you're trying to draw in clients that would be an ideal fit for you, who your ideal client might be. But that said, it doesn't mean that all those clients will fit into this like narrow tunnel, with only these specific issues and needs. Sometimes somebody in that group is going to have some sort of a curveball that's going to feel outside of your area of expertise, but it's going to hit you, kind of by surprise. So that's where we need to lean in to expand our knowledge, or also know where to refer out. There have been some clients I've worked with for 5 years, and something comes out of the blue that is happening to them in real time where they need more help than I can provide on a certain area of expertise. Maybe it's trauma. Maybe it is an issue around sexuality. That's not my area of expertise. So I would then refer them out to an expert who might be able to augment the work that we've done. And sometimes that means they pause working with me and work with another therapist for a little while who has that expertise. Or sometimes that just means they're picking up extra work. Like I don't do EMDR, I don't do hypnotherapy. There's lots of things that are not in my wheelhouse. But that doesn't mean I'm not a great therapist. It doesn't mean that I can't serve my client. It just means I also have to know when it's appropriate to refer out. So I hope that answered your question, Jocelyn, and I'm so glad you guys are tuning in today. I never take for granted that you're spending time in this community. I'm super grateful to host this space. It's really an honor for me, and I am just thrilled that you're here. So thanks you guys for tuning in. Tomorrow is our self-care Facebook Live. So if you're needing a little boost in the self-care department, please tune in for that or catch the replay. And hopefully you'll join us in the fall cohort of the course as well, because that is filling up right now. Registration for that ends on Sunday night, midnight Pacific time. So you're going to want to get in before Sunday, and within 5 weeks, have your practice up and thriving. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye, guys.